They say history remembers kings, but in Benin, history consumed them. For at the center of that ancient kingdom stood something far more powerful, far more feared than any ruler, the Ivory Throne. It was said to be carved from the tusks of sacred elephants, bound together by gold, coral, and human hair taken from warriors who died protecting the crown. It gleamed under the torchlight of the royal palace, alive with stories, power, and whispers from another world. The royal priest said the throne was not just a symbol, it was a bridge between the living king and the spirits of the ancestors, and whoever dared to sit on it without the blessing of the spirits would pay a terrible price. The story begins with Oba Ewuare the Great, the ruler who turned Benin into one of the richest and most feared kingdoms in Africa. He was brilliant, ruthless, and proud, a king who believed he was untouchable, chosen by the gods themselves. When he commissioned the Ivory Throne, the priests warned him that the spirits within the ivory were restless. The elephant whose tusks were used had been sacred, a guardian of the ancestors, and its death had disturbed the balance between the two worlds. The priests begged him to perform rituals of atonement, but Ewuare refused. "No spirit can curse a king," he said. When the throne was completed, the palace servants claimed it hummed faintly at night, as if breathing. On the day of Ewuare's coronation, the skies darkened. Rain poured without wind. The priest tried to stop him, but he pushed past him and sat upon the gleaming throne. For a moment, silence filled the hall. Then thunder shook the palace, the lamps flickered, and a gust of cold air swept through the room. Witnesses said the Oba's eyes turned pale as he whispered in a voice that was not his own, "Now I am eternal." When the light returned, the throne stood empty. Only his crown remained, resting on the seat. His body was gone. Some said he was taken into the spirit world, others that his soul was trapped inside the ivory itself. The priests sealed the throne in a silk cloth and hid it in the deepest chamber of the palace. From that night on, no one dared to sit on it. Years later, his descendant, Oba Ewuare, tried to break the curse. During a royal festival, he lifted the cloth and sat on the throne for only a few seconds, laughing at the old superstitions. That night, his eldest son died mysteriously, his eyes opened wide in horror, and his youngest lost his sight. Ewuare never laughed again. He ordered the throne to be locked away forever. But even locked, the curse remained alive. Guards who watched over the throne reported hearing footsteps circling it in the dark. Some claimed they saw a man's shadow sitting upon it, even though the room was empty. One priest confessed before his death that sometimes, late at night, he heard a voice whispering from the chamber, "Who will sit next?" When the British Army invaded Benin in 1897, they looted the palace and burned much of the city. Soldiers took the sacred bronzes, the coral jewelry, and the throne itself. One British officer wrote in his diary that the throne seemed to glow faintly under moonlight and felt warm to the touch. That night, he dreamt of a tall man dressed in red beads, eyes burning like fire, who said, "You have taken my seat." The officer's ship never made it back to England. It vanished somewhere in calm waters near the Gulf of Guinea, leaving behind only wreckage and silence. Others who handled the throne suffered strange fates. Fever, madness, sudden death. The throne disappeared soon after, taken by someone who feared what it carried. Some say it was secretly returned to Benin. Others believe it lies buried somewhere deep in a collector's vault, still waiting for its next victim. In Benin City today, elders still tell the tale. On quiet nights, when the air is heavy and the wind is still, they say you can hear faint chanting coming from the ruins of the old palace. Some have seen glowing footprints leading to where the throne once stood. Others have heard the hum of ivory and the whisper of an ancient king saying, "Return me to my seat." And those who have dared to search for the throne, historians, treasure hunters, spiritualists, all speak of strange dreams. A man in red coral, sitting on a white seat, staring straight into their souls. Maybe the throne was never lost. Maybe it still sits, hidden beneath the earth, waiting. The Oba spirit, restless, patient, watching. And when the time comes, when someone foolish or brave enough finds it and sits upon it once more, the curse will wake again. So if you ever walk through the ruins of the old Benin palace and you see an ivory chair gleaming faintly in the dark, do not touch it. Do not look too long. Because some thrones were never made for man, and once you sit, you may never stand again.